The gardens we worked in down Newquay, they were all old fishermen houses. There's a road and a house and a garden and another road and a house and a garden and another road in Newquay. So there's three like that. It's a lovely place to sit and watch everything. It's so interesting. There's always more than Aberystwyth, really. There's more going on, isn't there? There's lobster pots and there's fishermen still going in and out. Up until fairly recently, as in even when the children were small, Newquay was very closed up in the winter, whereas Aberystwyth wasn't so much so. It was more of a town.
I'd never been to Newquay, and road sign things, the little red posts, and there was loads of these, and the only time I'd ever seen these before were on a bend, and I was thinking, Christ, this bend must be really, thing. But I got into Newquay, and I didn't realise that we were still dry in Newquay, i.e. you couldn't get a drink on a Sunday. And that was kind of interesting, because in Newcastle Ending, the other side of the river, you could.
I mean, I can remember when, I think there were 3 bakeries at one time in Newquay.
Yeah.
I could smell the bread being baked when I used to go up to pack the bus to college,
Can you girls remember getting the shells? Collecting the big shells from underneath the fish factory where they take
and that's the dog beach.
And we used to use them as ashtrays in those days. None of us smoked. But that's what people used them for.
Soap dishes.
Pardon?
Soap
dishes, but they're great big
scallops.
Like clammy things.
Scallops,
Are they? Yeah.
Scallops.
Yeah. You used to be really thrilled if you found intact ones rather than bits chipped off.
Round on the rocky bit.
Round on the rocky bit.
So you
they
walk
just chuck them straight over the edge.
Again to the left.
Where the dog beach is, the one that's the dog beach.
Yeah.
And to the left of there is all rocks, isn't there? Just walk round there. The tide's never out.
And when we were children, we used to walk from Carretos to Newquay just to play on the beach. We used to watch them catching mackerels and to try and go swimming and go out on the boats, We were having a real good time.
We used to go around thrashing in the winter, threshing, Mary called it. All the neighbouring farms, it was a big get-together.
At the WI market, we used to take vegetables too and sell our produce there.
Right.
In our books, the Newquay market on the way into Newquay used to be because Losh used to love it.
Love that every
Used to take them. They used to get the felt drawings that you used to fill in, and
we used to love that.
You used to colour those felt drawings.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
That's in the. Where the schooner park is? It the caravan site.
It was in Newquay. It's proper Newquay.
Yes, it is proper Newquay. There's a field opposite that's now got horses and stuff in it, and that whole field.
But I remember one time we put the lobster pots down to catch crabs, and by the time we had gone out, it was like a mill pond when we went out, and by the time we got back, it was so rough we couldn't get the lobster pots in, and it would change that quickly. Well,
most of the terraces, every other house was a pub, because it was the main industry. There was a merchant marine, not just of fishing. Half of the population in the 18th and 19th century were sailors and sea captains. And as Gary was saying, there was a shipbuilding industry up Strathgreen and for that.
Okay.
And there's a build ships on the seashore.
Okay.
Well, on a positive note, I love the fact there's a pavement into Newquay now.
All right.
Yeah.
Because it used to be horrendous when we were little. Try getting 6 little children along
It's
into
not all the
Newquay.
way though, is it? Because I've walked all the way from
we
here.
didn't go to Newquay. I went a lot to Newquay with you when you were.
I don't like the fact it's completely made for tourists now,
No,
including the
Aberystwyth's
car
more a normal
park.
place, isn't it?
Yeah,
Newquay is, I don't know.
a holiday place and always has been. But has Newquay changed a lot? It's just got busier and more holidays,
just busier.
I think.
I suppose is not a very good, not particularly good change.
It's good for you because he caught you on your bike with no lights on.
Very sharp, isn't it?
policeman.
So there'd be more of a community then, wouldn't it? They'd have known people.
Yeah.
Yeah, policemen wouldn't know anybody now, would they? It's very impersonal. Well, same with doctors in a way. 'Cause
Right, okay.
They've really gone. Because we used to, when the kids would do the sound barrier a lot in those days. There were a lot of aeroplanes, overhead.
Right.
I suppose it must have been when they.
The Concorde were breaking the
No.
sound barrier. No. Oh, the military.
The military. Yeah.
Oh, they used to frighten the wits out of you when you were a baby, Helen. They used to
Me?
scream your head off you, yes, because you were.
There used to be a lot more airplanes than there are
Oh.
now. You never hear them.
They
I
were-
hardly ever hear them now, do you?
They
Right.
were constantly
But-
doing that
Yeah.
awful great big bang, weren't they?
So although Newquay's beautiful and picturesque, the outskirts where they're having to cram all the people because there aren't any houses are literally
Because the
crammed.
houses in town must be holiday town. Holiday
Right.
people.
An awful
No.
lot
Well,
of
some
them
of them
are.
are. On television.
They
Yeah.
still would get people go.
I don't know. Or the same one.
Oh, but the view. I mean, you can see why holiday makers want to go to Newquay. It's just so beautiful. Even now, if we walk down into Newquay, I absolutely love it. Aberrowing's nice, but it hasn't got that sort of view. And when we went just recently, it was just like well, I've never seen the
Oh,
Mediterranean.
it's so
but
turquoise,
so
isn't it?
bluey
But that's the
turquoise.
crushed shell from the fish factory.
Oh, it's almost
Yeah. Well, the white, the
just
really
white, just like
yeah.
it makes it look like white sand
But
underneath.
the water's so clear, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Yeah, because like I said, there was a bus station which is completely built over now,
Right.
and I think there was a little wooden hall next to the
Right,
bus station,
right.
which is only some sort of shop now, where you turn down to go to the front. On
Oh,
your
yeah.
left, there was like a wooden hall, I think, and next to that was the bus station. Went right back. There's still bus stops behind, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, are there any kind of challenges you can think of that are in Newquay at the moment for you, in terms of maybe shopping or walking, or any sort of challenges that you're
Yes,
aware of?
walking.
Yes.
The post office is at the bottom of the hill. She can't get there on her own.
Can go down, all right,
Can't go
but
down to the post
can't
office.
get up.
But it gets more.
People like me with my legs, I mean, going up is impossible, but going down is just as bad, you know. People don't realise how quick you've got to move your feet.
There's
Oh,
parking for
Yeah,
the
there's
doctors and
always.
it's easy. But sometimes you get traffic wardens come around there.
Oh
And
dear.
there's no delineation being parking for the surgery and the council car park. And some people have been booked for parking when they've been in the surgery. So
Well, I remember we had great fun walking up and down that hill with all the stuff for the kids, with Steve on, and that we always parked in the doctor's car park, and then that walk up that hill, and that was it was a heck of a trail.
3 rows of terraced houses down the seafront, and half of them are holiday homes. More than half are holiday homes now. But there used to be a lot more people round about, 1960s, 70s, but after they died or moved away, whatever.
Yeah,
Not
Key
so
West has
many
got.
lived in now, are there, Rick?
Yeah, and Key West has got bigger, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Much
Key West
bigger.
has got bigger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
remember
soon
my
we'll be
uncle.
calling it New Key West.
Mm.
Unfortunately.
Before that,
yeah.
it was Don Everall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think my Uncle Edwin tried to put a stop to Key West building out.
Yeah.
And also, half the houses are owned by people that don't live here.
Mm.
And by walking around and talking, I've met quite a few that live here and those that own a house and come on holiday. And the two don't really mix,
Right.
And it's sad really, because the more houses that get bought by people that use them as a second holiday home, that means the people living there got less locals to associate with. So, it's changing all the time. What I've noticed, there's two kinds of people in Newquay. Those that got quite a bit of money and those that haven't. You know, like there's no sort of an in between.
Downhill push bike racing as well.
Right.
We had Guy Martin come down.
Right,
You
never.
know, brought really top riders down to the area, and these people that have organised these events were all young people that were, when I was involved with the youth club, they've grown up and they're organising their own events and they're running their own things. Newquay Music Festival and that. We've had top acts, and the Fish Factory has always offered employment for a lot of people, but it's hard employment, and obviously, you know, over the later years you start to get a lot of people from abroad come work there and stuff. But the products of the scallops from Cardigan Bay get exported all over the world, and at one time we could never buy local scallops here because they were always being exported, which was quite something. But now there's some entrepreneurial, and what's the word?
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
Entrepreneurs.
folk in the Fish Factory, and they are actually selling the crushed whelk shells, known as shell on earth.
With the Meals on Wheels scheme, and that was another way of tackling on the elderly as well.
Individuals taking care of the community. We've got like the Working for Newquay group now, which does a very similar sort of thing, but in a practical thing. They're taking over the role of the council that are neglecting stuff that which you know, like clearing weeds and making the place look tidy, and the hubs have been taken over, where you know, you go for a meal, you'll have a local business that would be supporting Newquay, such as Ginger Rose, I think it is, where everybody meets up as volunteers and they would get free coffee and sandwiches.
Newquay, magic wand, what would you wish for?
That we would have transport up and down the hills of Newquay. Definitely.
That was on my list.
Yeah, that's definite. That people would get together more, mix more.
Start a cinema again, that'd be good.
It all relies on the summer trade, doesn't it? Because
Yeah, but think
even
about
the
that. They
market.
get a load of people in on all those wet weeks they usually get.
Accessibility for people of everybody, because it's got to be inclusive. It's got to include the businesses as much as it's got to include tourism. It's got to include locals as well.
So what do you think?
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
How's it been this afternoon?
Good, relaxing.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the paint to dry in the back of that bus.